the XPS 13 is more powerful by some distance than Apple's MacBook, the 12-inch rival of a similar price, and in fact the Core i7 XPS 13 we tested is the smoothest, fastest XPS ever, and worthy of your consideration if you have the money to spend on a high-end Ultrabook. There's a rose gold and white edition, but this is the silver and black carbon fibre version, and even though it doesn't look out of place on a boardroom table, it's also slick enough to appeal to the consumer market. Compared to the last generation, the casing is 23% smaller, which is always good so long as it doesn't affect performance, and the XPS 13 still feels as close to the premium build of MacBooks that a Windows machine has come, albeit with a slightly more practical, less space-age design. With simple lines and the just about subtle enough carbon fibre effect on the inside, and a sleek, completely flush 4mm bezel around the screen, it's a good looking piece of kit. The keyboard has a superb clacky yet springy feel to it, while maintaining the slimmer profile of the base. There are no low travel butterfly keys you might find on a MacBook or MacBook Pro here. Add to that a fingerprint sensor in the power key and you have a mighty fine design, refined for 2018 expectations. Less fun is the webcam placement, still under the Dell logo on the bottom of the screen. Even if it is a space saver, it's still annoying, but Dell told us it's working to fit one into the top bezel on future models. And at 1.21 kilograms with those slim bezels, the laptop is compact and portable as you could hope for. Depending on your budget, you can go for a Core i5 or i7 processor, and these are all 8th gen Coffee Lake from Intel. All models have the Intel UHD Graphics 620 GPU. Other options are a minimum of 128GB and a maximum of 1TB of storage, and then 4, 8 or 16 gigs of RAM. Our high-end 16GB RAM model performed outstandingly, but you can expect slower multitasking speeds in the other versions. You can choose between a non-touched 1920x1080 FHD or a touchscreen with a 3840x2160 4K Ultra HD resolution. Brightness is outstanding, and there's very little occasion you'll want to have it on 100%. Touchscreen input is still odd on Windows 10, but here the experience is the best it can be. Unlike on cheaper laptops with the same feature, you don't have to prod the screen really hard. In most cases, the trackpad or a mouse is simply easier, and the non-touchscreen version is still HD and fully adequate for most work and play uses. The trackpad is a little smaller than some rivals, but it's still the best Windows trackpad we've ever used thanks to its responsive, smooth and accurate surface. For connectivity needs are 2 Thunderbolt 3 USB-C ports, a further USB-C 3.1 port and a micro SD card slot. All share responsibilities for power share, DC in and DisplayPort. We are all going to have to get used to USB-C as it turns up on phones in our pockets and the laptops on our desks. One day it will hopefully be standardised well enough that we'll all only need one charger for all of our gadgets. But until then, and unlike Apple, Dell puts a USB-A adapter in the box, acknowledging for all your peripherals that this is a still annoying transition. The 1.8GHz Intel Core i7 CPU is overkill for most people, as most likely is the 16GB of LPDDR3 RAM. 8 should be enough, even if you stick with the i7 model. Dell claims the 52 Wh battery can run in some conditions for up to 19 hours. It certainly excels in battery life and managed 10 hours and 51 minutes in our test. This is great, but it is less than the 12.5 hours the previous generation managed. Any laptop that can go a full 9-hour workday away from the plug is a luxury, and Dell is still near the top of the pack here, despite the XPS 13's drop in battery longevity. Audio output is decent enough for Netflix sessions, but you won't want them to power music at a party. The inclusion of a headphone jack takes care of output and headphone listening though. The reality here is that Windows 10 has never looked or performed better on a Dell XPS before. The combination of a 4K display, fluid processing power, and best-in-class keyboard and trackpad interaction mean this is the best compact laptop Windows 10 experience going. Even if you buy the entry-level Core i5 model, you're getting all the benefits, minus the 4K display. The model we reviewed is a Core i7 with 16GB of RAM and 512GB of storage, and retails for £1,549. This is still